Hello, 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 everyone. Please come in and hit the like button, please, and thank you. This is our second day of the morning of Charlie Kirk, and we still have not gotten to who the murderer is. Okay, we have not done that. We have not done that yet. According to police records, they recovered a high-powered bolt-action rifle, believed to be the weapon used. They have seen a person of interest and has been identified from surveillance footage, okay? Multiple images released show someone wearing a baseball cap, sunglasses, long sleeves, carrying a backpack. So this person definitely seems as though they planned everything down to the wire. They have a $100,000 reward for tips leading to the person. They say they may be college aged and they can definitely blend into a crowd. Looks like I can't tell whether they're young or not. According to the pictures, white, male, thin, and it seems to be targeted. Okay, came from a rooftop of about 200 yards away. Okay, so there is no suspect in custody. So let's listen to some of the reports.
As the race to find the person who gunned down Charlie Kirk intensifies, we are now getting into what happens next. Prosecution, death penalty, legal liability. What are the biggest impacts of this killing? We are going to bring on a major guest to discuss this. One of the best legal minds on TV, CNN senior legal analyst, Elie Honig. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime.
I think it was targeted like it was a professional hit. The person is cleaned up a lot. Usually we find these people within 24 hours, right? Because they're so reckless with what they're doing. They haven't thought it out. They're thinking it wasn't a pro, or he wouldn't have left so much evidence. Definitely. What evidence did he leave? As far as I can see, he left footprints and a picture.
Jesse Weber. All right, so let's continue the analysis of the shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. As today, not only did the FBI release a brand new photo of a person of interest in connection with this killing and encouraging those who have information to call 1-800-CALL-FBI. By the way, in a separate post,
that picture looks like every other white boy, tall white boy with a baseball cap, sunglasses, and I couldn't pick him out of a lineup if they paid me $1 million.
On X, the FBI announced the FBI is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the identification and arrest of the individuals responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Mr. Roger, you
Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Contact 1-800-CALL-FBI. And not only that, but the FBI provided more information today in a press conference about the shooter's movements, about palm prints, about the recovered weapon, tips. I encourage everybody to go check out our episode that we just put out today. I interview former CIA and FBI agent Tracy Walder all about that, and has bits, by the way, from that press conference on there too. Really, really engaging. But the question now, what we want to talk about right now, is if and when they catch this shooter, what happens? Because actually there are a lot of potential impacts and legal impacts that we got to figure out. And I will tell you, it is shocking. It is shocking. What was supposed to be this outdoor public event attended by about 3,000 people.
Oh, really? Ball sucks? You think so? That when he said great, then he got shot. Wow. I don't know. I heard it was a Palestinian connection, an Israeli connection. Wow.
Where this conservative activist and Turning Point USA co-founder was going to just debate those in attendance, regarding politics and culture and societal views. Instead, it turned into absolute violence.
That's what I'm thinking, Triple X. Like an amateur may not be able to do that. I don't know. depending on the wind trajectory, all that. Secret Service sucks ass.
The last word he said before he was shot, he was talking about shootings. How ironic is that?
Right.
But the last thing he said was violence, and then he gets shot. Now these.
Please don't show the picture. I can't do that. I have avoided any of the pictures, right? You can make that 130 yards as horseplay. I thought they said 200. You can make that shot with a musket. Wow.
Horrible events that played out yesterday. It's still, I'm not going to lie to you, it's embedded in my head, especially if you watch those videos. It's probably in yours. Those videos that circulated online, they are very hard to shake.
Ouch.
And by the way, this comes from somebody who covers the evils of this world on a daily basis. I said this on social media yesterday, but just please think about Charlie Kirk's family.
I've avoided Carl. I did too. I don't want to see that. I mean, people say it just looked like the light just went straight out his eyes. That's like wild. I can't even. Oof. I mean, wouldn't it be wild if it was like, well, I don't even want to start no conspiracy theory, but wouldn't it be wild if it was like a real live hit? Whoa.
And friends who now have a new reality that victims, family members, we talk about it in every case that we cover. They now have.
I wouldn't celebrate nobody's death. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves that in front of their wife, right? Nobody does. Wow.
A new reality. It is a reality of pain, loss, and confusion. Please just think about them. And I say that because you also have to think about the impact that the legal consequences now will have for the family and friends of Charlie Kirk, right? A trial. At the time of this recording, law enforcement has not caught this shooter. But if and when they do, what happens next? How do you ensure a successful prosecution? What are they doing now? We're talking the death penalty. That's on the table potentially. 2 people were detained yesterday. What about them? Oh, and Utah Valley University, do they face some questions regarding security? CBS News report.
Here's the question. Did he say anything negative about Israeli? Anything negative about Ukraine? Anything negative about Iran? Did he say anything negative about any kind of foreign entities that we could look at?
Reporting that according to a university spokeswoman, that single shot through Charlie Kirk's neck that ended up killing him, that was fired from a nearby building 200 yards away. We heard from the FBI, who said that the shooter went to that roof. This is a building that houses student support services and resources. How was he able to get up there? I say all that, but now I want to bring on any.
How was the person able to get up there? He supported Israel. Oh, supported Israel. Okay. How was he able to get up to that building he just mentioned? It was over 200 yards.
Incredibly special guest to Sidebar, somebody who hasn't been on here before. I'm going to talk to him about the potential legal consequences, the impact here. We are joined by who I will say, in my opinion, is arguably one of the best legal analysts in our business. One of the best I've ever seen. CNN senior legal analyst Ellie Honig, who previously, by the way, worked for 14 years as a federal and state prosecutor. And most importantly, the reason we were able to get Ellie on here today is because he is the author of an incredible new book. He gave me an early copy. Do I feel special? Yes, I feel special.
Yeah, but why would he ask that? He said, how was he able to get to that college building or whatnot? You know how they lock down buildings, when they have somebody on campus sometime? I don't know how he got
called. Let's start to right now. When you come at the king, inside DOJ's pursuit of the president from Nixon to Trump. And Ellie Honig joins me.
Yeah, guys, come on. I need you to do the likes. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. We are in here for, the information. Please and thank you. I would appreciate the likes. Please, I need you to get me to 100, at least 100 likes or so. Please and thank you. I appreciate it. We finna listen to, some more information about Charlie Kirk. Please and thank you. I ain't going to no sucky CNN. I ain't finna go no. We ain't going here. We please and thank y'all. Give me a like. Double tap to like the video. Please and thank y'all. Yes. Rest in peace, Charlie.
Right here, Ellie. So good to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for that very kind introduction.
I mean,
you and I, by the way, share the distinction of both being Dan A.
You said all he had to do was get to the maintenance ladder. What does that mean, Tater Tot? Explain yourself, please.
Abrams fill-ins, right? When on Sirius XM, and I will get calls sometimes where they'll go, Jesse, it's so great when you fill in. I go, well, close enough, but that's the other guy.
You don't just say thank you.
Sometimes I just roll with it. I don't even respond. I'll take it. But thank you for that. And by the way, we'll talk more about Charlie Kirk's scenario. Yeah. But I totally feel the same way as you. I'm physically disgusted by what happened. And you're right that you have to think about the victims here. I mean, I've prosecuted.
Oh, I like that blue hat.
Murder cases. I've seen scenes. I've seen autopsies. You name it. And it's deeply traumatizing. And I wish people would respect that.
And you talk about killings all the time. You talk about crimes. To see it, I mean, we don't always get video proof of the killing, right? A lot of times we don't even have the crime scene photos. What we saw yesterday, I am praying that his family never saw it.
I agree.
It was really tough.
You can't stop people from posting it, but the social media sites can take it down.
By the way, we've been trying to capture all of these pressers.
Pharaoh, for real? I don't know, Pharaoh. I mean, I don't know. You don't think so? Oh, okay.
And announcements as quickly as possible. And one of the things that can help us is something called Claude AI and their new product, the Note Pro.
He said, what they say? He means commercial buildings have riser rooms with permanent ladders that lead to roofs. Oh, okay. That lead to rooftops. He would have had to access this ladder or use his own extension ladder to reach the roof. So this was all the way calculated. He had to have scoped out the building. He had to have done all of that. That's wild. That's why, yeah, this is definitely something that's planned. Definitely. Come on.
Robert Mueller, Jack Smith, John Durham, Robert Hur, David Weiss. You talk about the importance of the special counsel office in general. Why did you write this book?
So I love telling the stories, right? I've covered a few of these, right? Since everything from Mueller on, I've covered. And when I started talking to the actual participants, I was a prosecutor, like you said, for 14 years, and it brought me back.
No, I don't speak in Ebonics. I know how to, but I don't.
To that, but so much more, like talking to the actual Watergate prosecutors. What was happening in that office the Sunday morning after the Saturday night massacre? Talking to people on both sides of the Clinton-Ken story.
Yeah, I tried to I tried to find those 3 kids. I mean, I tried to find it. I wanted to do something on those kids tomorrow. I mean, if you can put something in the chat, to help me find, some more information on them. Please and thank you, V. Please and thank you, V. If you hear me, I'm not sure if you hear me or not. Please and thank you. I wanted to do something on that. I almost weighed whether it was more important.
Our case, talking to people who were involved in all those recent cases up to and including the Jack Smith case, it brought me back to being a prosecutor. And I love telling those.
You guys please hit the like button, please and thank you, please.
Stories, because A, I think they're just entertaining on their own. B, I think maybe I can contribute a little bit to history with new stuff that's in this book. But C, I think it tells us something about ourselves, who we are as a society, as a community, where our laws, where the sort of outer boundaries of our laws are, and how we go about what do we do when you have that intractable problem where you have to investigate the president. Where does it go from here?
We have a very intelligent audience who is very interested in how investigations work, what is happening behind the scenes, prosecutorial decisions, the pressures. And so I think it's going to be really interesting for them. There is a section where you talk about why you named the book the way that you did, because of all the pressure and the danger that faces a special counsel.
When we don't
edge of what we call Rule 6E, like the grand jury secrecy rules. Maybe we even violate recommended criminal indictment. Or you start one chapter where it simply says, Jack Smith never had a chance. Now, what are the misconceptions that you want to clear up about a lot of this? What is like the main point of some of these topics? The only thing everyone was focused on, I'm reading his report going, but Joe Biden knew tapes. How do we go about it? Interrogating them? He goes, but the way he said that was so smarmy, I'm paraphrasing, that if this was.
He said, check it out on PBS NewsHour. They saying all of y'all so desperate for something good that y'all talk about one issue over and over again until another tragedy happens and move on and forget about this. Well, this is not part of our family. Okay. I mean, he's a part of the, the public dialogue, but he's not a part of our family. We're not going to just mourn and mourn and mourn and mourn. Right. So, I mean, you can't get mad at us because Charlie Kirk is not our family.
It was a jury trial.
Charlie Kirk is somebody that's on the, somebody that was on the internet, from Turning Point USA, and he was a public figure. We're not just going to sit down and cry, right? That's all we can do is look at the next thing that comes down the pike and have sympathy and empathy for that. I don't understand why you would even say that, V. But thank you anyway. I mean, I would have appreciated some help with that, but okay, thank you.
On Barnes & Noble, go to your local independent, whatever it may be.
I would like a real copy of this because the manuscript you gave me fell apart.
Okay, this is real, though.
You gave me, the glue fell apart.
Yeah,
so
that was the early stuff.
Yeah,
this is real. This holds together. It's not
strong,
empty pages.
strong.
It's strong. I'll sign it.
Okay, so I hope everybody can go check it out. When You Come at the King by Ellie Honig. Okay.
Thank you.
Now we have to talk about Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
So you talked to me about, it was one of the most graphic, disturbing things you've seen in quite some time. One of the first questions I had was, are prosecutors
Pharaoh, what in the heck are you talking about? Boy, what's going on?
getting involved at this point?
Oh, yes.
How does that work? So I imagine it might be the Utah County Attorney's Office, maybe the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office. What are they doing right now?
So first of all, yes, prosecutors are involved in this. And I'm sure both the state level prosecutors in Utah and the feds are.
The reason I say is because there's been no arrest at the time.
Right,
right.
Recording. But so you say, well, why would a prosecutor be involved? A couple things. You have to work with FBI agents on strategy. I mean, look, my way, I work with FBI agents every day.
Right.
And my approach was always, you are the point person on the investigation. I'm the point person in the courtroom, but we need to consult both ways. And so an FBI agent may say to you, okay, let's say hypothetically they find a car. What do we do? Do we need a warrant? Can we just get in there? Is there some exception to the warrant?
Thank you.
Either way, you're going to need to be consulted and brought in.
Right.
You need subpoenas. We have to subpoena the phone company, the cell site, the whatever. You have to, that comes from the prosecutor.
So can somebody tell me the next two steps that would be good idea that maybe nobody thought of, a way in which to catch this killer? I know it'd be bizarre. I know it's weird, and we probably all don't have police background. But is there anybody else who could come up with some idea? What would you do if somebody said, hey, come up with an amazing idea to help catch this guy? What would you do? Put it in the chat, because I'm trying to figure it out.
And you want to be involved because you want to make sure they're not making any mistakes when it comes to Miranda, for example, reading the person their rights, right? Well,
wait a minute, hold on. I heard that there was a plane that left the state about 2 hours after that after the shooting. It was like something was a plane left 2 hours after the shooting, and they couldn't catch the plane, or wasn't able to do something.
We have him. Well, he's talking, but he said something about a lawyer, but now he's in the back of the car. Can we keep talking to there's all these.
That's a good one, RJ.
Things that you would definitely need to be consulting with a prosecutor on.
Are the attorneys on scene? Like, are they at the crime scene? If there's someone's brought in?
No, what I'm saying is unusual methods. Unusual method. If you could come up with an unusual method to track this person down, if you could, what would that unusual method be? On just weird. Just think of it.
Are they coming in now to do maybe potentially part of the interrogation?
You could be. Yeah. I mean, look, if they have someone and they're holding them off site,
high orange blast.
Could definitely be brought there and drive there. But this is an interesting sort of federal state split. The feds, generally speaking, when I was at the U.S. Attorney's Office, it was like, you don't go to the crime scene. That's amateurish. All you can do is become a witness yourself. What if you see something, right? You don't want to make yourself a witness, then you're off the case. Right. State prosecutors tend more to go to the scene. There's a good debate about whether that's smart or not. But look, if they said we have someone.
Wait a minute, when was the shot? The shot was right here. The shot was right here, right after this. Because they keep showing this same shot and they keep stealing right here. So it must have happened right here, right after this, when he started to answer questions, right at the beginning, like on the second question. That's wild.
But in custody, we think this is the guy we're interrogating him. Come on out. Like,
the person didn't even want him to get started. They didn't even want nobody to get comfortable. They wanted everybody to be scattering like rats and roaches 5 minutes after they got there. Why would anybody? That's wild. Wow.
I would be there in a second.
Right. So let's say there's an arrest.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
You're right, Mexican bandit, I'm not.
What happens next from the state level? I mean, what do you expect in terms of charges, processing, the criminal process?
So I expect he will be charged both in the state of Utah and federally. Now,
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah,
So,
ordinarily, federal policy, written policy says, it's called something called the Pettit policy, named after an old case or something, says if the state authorities have already charged something, we generally, not always, but generally don't pile on with our own charges. Here, I think the interest is so high, the public interest, and given the things we've heard from DOJ and from the president, I fully expect to see both. Obviously, there will be murder charges. In the state of Utah, it's actually interesting. So it will be first degree, obviously premeditated. There's no self-defense. There's no heat of the moment type thing. But in order to get it up to the death penalty eligible level, you need an aggravating factor. And I was looking at those aggravating factors just yesterday. The one that I think probably applies most, a lot of it doesn't apply if you murder a law enforcement official, if you have multiple victims. But if in the course of killing somebody, you put other people in grave risk. And I think they'll argue anytime you fire a rifle into a car, you could hit more than one person. Bullet fragments can explode. So I think they're going to use that to get it that bump up to aggravated and make it death eligible.
Mangione doing the same.
I keep thinking that they going to make a mistake and go a little bit further and then show him jerking back, right? I don't want to see that.
Same thing. Those prosecutors said the same thing, even though it was looked directly shot at, Brian Thompson. There was that nearby witness.
Right.
They said anytime you fire a weapon, there could be ricochet.
Right.
So I agree. I think that's probably what they'll do for aggravating. And the reason we talk about it is because Utah's Republican governor, Spencer Cox, said at a press
You ignorant, Emmanuel.
conference, we still have the death penalty. And by the way, if they do that, how does that complicate the case if it becomes a death penalty eligible case?
So you have to go through a second layer. Well, let me talk state and then I'll talk federal.
Sure.
You always have to
Please and thank y'all. Hit the like button. Please and thank you. Please and thank you.
have a separate trial proceeding. So it's the only place where the jury actually sets the sentence in our system. So first, the jury will decide guilt or non-guilt. Let's assume they find him guilty. Then you would keep the same jury and you go, now we go into the penalty phase. And then it gets into aggravating circumstances, mitigating.
Yeah, he does look kind of young, don't he? He looks like he could be, but see, the first picture, he looks really young. And then the second picture right here, he looks like he could be 25, 20, 30, maybe ish. Wow. I mean, he don't look just like no college kid.
Circumstances, did he have a mental health condition? How premeditated, how gruesome was the act? And then the jury will decide yes or no on death or life in prison. So that's
the signature page is at the gun range.
But it also makes it longer.
Certainly makes it longer. You know what? One thing it does, though, certainly in the federal system, it gives you what we call a death qualified jury. And this is an advantage for the prosecution. Defense lawyers hate this because think about it. And again, the same thing in the federal system. You would have to try him, get a guilty verdict, and then go into penalty phase. But when you're picking your jury, you have to ask them.
But my thing is, somebody said that he was a college kid or looked like a college kid. Ain't no college kid that damn good with a gun, for one. Two, that person disappeared. The only thing he left was a picture. He probably couldn't get rid of the security camera, but other than that, he didn't leave no more evidence than that. That ain't no college kid. He's more than a college kid, and he don't even look like a college kid. He looks older than that. Check the toll records on highway. Yeah, north of.
Are you capable of recommending the death sentence on a fellow human? And if the person says, no, I just don't think there's any circumstances I can do that, they're out. So think about what that does to your jury pool. If you're a prosecutor, great. I only have
They train like that? Really? Kids?
People who say they're willing and able to impose the death penalty. Defense lawyers hate it because they go, you're throwing out my best jurors. My best jurors are people who say I could never kill another human. So look, I don't know if there's a way to avoid that. I guess you could bring in separate juries, but federally they don't do it that way.
DeRay, he look older to me. DeRajay, he look older to me.
What would be a federal charge? Mangione, they charged him
Hey,
murder.
he look at least like 27, 28 to me. He don't look like no teenager, no college student. Definitely older than that.
Through stalking.
Right.
Is that, something similar?
So the thing is, and I think this could be a problem.
Lord James, please don't spread that kind of stuff. That's dangerous right there. And nobody spread anything about, we don't know who did this. This was a person with mental challenges who did this. Please don't spread those kind of things. We don't know. We're keeping abreast of the investigation, but don't say it was Dems or Republican. We don't know.
In the Mangione charge, stalking doesn't just mean you're stalking the guy,
Right.
Because
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Right. It means putting him in reasonable fear.
Well, we already know that empathy is a real emotion, so that's a non-starter.
That's exactly
right. So, like, I don't know how Brian unless there's some evidence I'm not aware of, that Brian Thompson, the person who Luigi Mangione shot, was like,
Keith. You're right.
Knew he was being stalked.
So, in a little side tangent,
Yeah.
I just was at CrimeCon and we talked about this.
Yeah.
There is an argument that between the first shot and the second shot of Brian Thompson, he knew he was about to be killed.
Wow.
That has been a legal argument. So this is different. This was one shot to his neck.
Right.
I think so too. I think he disappeared quick. Now you all know that most people get caught within 24 hours, 48 hours. They don't have no clue beyond his finger, his shoe stuff, and that picture. No clue past that. He could cut his hair bald. He could. You don't know what that man could do.
But he had security. He talked about death threats.
Right. Let me give you a couple other possible federal hooks we could see.
Yeah.
It depends if the gun was possessed legally or not. If the gun was a sawed-off, if the gun had a defaced serial number, which happens quite a bit, then it becomes illegal. If
you starting rumors, Keith Williams, stop that. That I've never heard Hillary or Obama do anything in the last 4 years or when he got elected.
He was a felon, this person, prior felon. There are various ways that this person becomes an illegal possessor, federally illegal possessor of a firearm. In which case, then it will.
Look at him again. He look young right there, but he don't look young right there. I don't know. He look really thin though, really thin.
Will be using that illegally possessed firearm to murder somebody. So let's wait and see.
I mean, he could be out of the country by now. He looked like every individual. He looked like every other white boy that done walk down the street. He looked like every other white boy that walked. Don't nobody know what you can't tell. You look at him. He looked plain as day. He looks older. Look at the jawline like this. He looks older than 21, 22. He looks like he's 27, 28.
The details about the firearm are going to matter a lot. That's number one. Number two, if he did it, I'm not seeing another federal.
Yeah, he's wearing something underneath his clothes. He looked like he's wearing something. We can't tell, but I think it's a bulletproof vest, which means he's thinner than what he really looks. Oh, that's why it's hanging off his body like that.
Crime, but it could be if he did it to advance some other federal crime, or if there was a crossing of state lines involved. It's going to be important where the guy was from, what his path into Utah was. That will determine whether we see federal charges.
What do you make of what this prosecution could potentially look like? And it's a very difficult question that I'm asking you because we don't even know who the suspect is, what the motivations are. There was reporting about the bullets may have had engravings regarding anti-fascist comments or transgender comments. The Wall Street Journal reported that.
So my question is, if Charlie had on a bulletproof vest, how did that person know Charlie had on a bulletproof vest before? So he knew. So he figured he had on a bulletproof vest. That's why he hit him right above the bulletproof vest in the neck. Ouch.
But you have so many witnesses. Well, maybe witnesses to at least the crime, not necessarily the shooter.
Yeah.
So much different camera footage. As a prosecutor, I mean, how would you even begin to process a case like this and try to find the relevant evidence to prosecute?
Right. It strikes me as most likely to be an identity type defense, right? I mean, once you conclude it's him, I can't imagine what the defense would be.
No, I can't watch it.
And yeah, you have to look, you need your surveillance video, but surveillance videos, we've seen it already. It could be any number of people, but it's going to be those forensics. It's going to be the ballistic matches, between the rifle and if there's shell casings, if they're able to recover any fragments. If there's one slug it's probably not going to be testable in any way. It probably shattered, into too many pieces.
Right.
But ballistics, if you can tie that gun to the person either through prints, through DNA, or even he might have purchased it in his own name. We don't know. Or somebody who we can tie to him might have purchased it. So look at the firearm itself. Look at forensics around the scene. If a piece of hair fell out, if he's wearing a hat, a glove, something like that, you're going to want to send those to the labs. And then, the visual ID.
Charlie don't look like he got on no bulletproof vest. I mean, what kind of bulletproof vest? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Charlie don't look that big, but he had on a bulletproof vest too. Charlie did. He don't look like he got one on.
It's like, right? If somebody can say, the best thing is if it's somebody who knows the person. It's less ideal if you go, I don't know this guy, but I saw him and he's that guy. It's better if you go, oh, I know that guy. He's John Smith. He lived on the dorm down the hall from me. Then your ID issues are much cleaner.
By the way, just going back for a second, is there any charge that you've seen if it's a political assassination?
So there are terrorism charges in a lot of state systems. If your motivation was to try to influence or terrify the public and public policy.
Right.
Which could.
You think that this is not terrifying? All of these college-age kids see this man head halfway knocked off. You think this ain't terrifying? This is not terrifying for people to see? Of course it was made for maximum terror.
Right. But the thing to keep in mind, federally, this is a bizarre wrinkle, but
yeah, the suspect had on a wounded veteran shirt, which basically means nothing. He could have got that from an army surplus store.
Federal law has a definition of domestic terrorism, which this seems to satisfy to me. It's that basically, if you commit an act because you're trying to influence or intimidate.
Okay, I'm gonna wake up.
Policy.
You let me know when I wake up, okay, Keith? Bitch ass mother.
And all that. The problem is there's no crime that goes with it. It's just the definition floating nowhere. There's no federal crime. It sounds crazy. There's no federal crime of domestic terrorism. You can Google it. You'll find a statute that says domestic terrorism is ABC, but there's not a crime that goes with it. So you're going to have to use one of those gun crimes or interstate crimes if you want a federal hook.
By the way, this collection of evidence, you mentioned it before, right? So the firearm, the palm prints, the forearm prints, the shoe impressions, the surveillance footage. What are the legal issues that prosecutors face in to make sure that that evidence is collected properly, that it is not contaminated in any way, but also that it can be properly introduced as evidence at a trial?
Yeah, so number one is you have to maintain the authenticity, the security, and the chain of custody of it, right? You can't just have law enforcement officers like kicking it around. You have to make sure whoever finds a piece of evidence, preserves it as is, photographically, video now, takes it into custody without contaminating it, with the proper precautions. And, this is like nuts and bolts stuff, but it's important, Seals it off, signs the bag, You would typically initial or sign right on the evidence bag. If you're going to transfer custody from the Utah State Police over to the FBI, that has to be documented. You have to be able to take every piece of evidence and trace it from the courtroom back to the ground or the roof where it was found, You have to make sure that's all locked in. You also want to make sure that everything that is seized constitutionally. So let's say, for example, they get.
You guys, please hit the like button coming in and out. Please, I would appreciate that. Okay. We I need the engagement, please. And thank you. I would appreciate it. I appreciate it. We're doing this interview. We run through this evidence and investigation right along with each other. So we're learning something new. It's so many people that can come up with ideas and whatnot. And I want to hear your ideas. I want to find out what the hell is going on. Why somebody would do that to that young man. He's only 31 years old. He had a family. He had children. He had a wife. Come on.
An address on this guy, you want to have a warrant. I guarantee you they already have a warrant mostly written out, a search warrant written out. Because there's some argument that you could go into an apartment, let's say you get an address on an apartment, that you could go in on some sort of exception.
No, I'm not really smart. I'm just empathetic. An
emergency, exigency, whatever. But why risk it? You will have a judge. If I'm prosecuting this case, I will have the on-duty judge. I will have his number ready. He will know that I might call him at any moment. And I have every piece of that warrant written except for, just whatever I need to fill in, But I would have the basics already laid out, on September, whatever it was, 11th. Was it 11th? Yeah, 10th, September 10th, at whatever time this happened. I would have it all. It would be in a document, ready to just fill in what I needed. You get a warrant. You better cross your T's, dot your I's, belt, suspenders, every one of those expressions you can think of.
Yes.
Can you imagine if they did something and it was violated the Fourth Amendment? If they did a search that was unlawful and lost a piece of evidence, if they interrogated him in a way that violated his Fifth Amendment rights, it would be disastrous.
That's why I always say in these very high profile cases, and particularly in cases where there is so much.
Why would Lucifer 666? Why would CIA order the hit? Please explain. Why was it a professional hit, and why would the CIA order it? I'd love to hear your theory. Go ahead.
Evidence against a criminal defendant. It may take a little extra time, and I always
only thing of Charlie Kirk's I watched was the thing you sent me in the email. That's the only thing I've ever seen of Charlie Kirk.
Say for those crimes, like the ones that are the most high profile, you have to be even more careful. Prosecutors have to ensure that they are doing everything they're supposed to do, because the worst thing that would happen is, let's say they get a conviction, it's overturned, or case is thrown out. I mean, what do you say to the victim's family?
It happens. It happens sometimes. Yeah. People lose cases on those technicalities.
It should be in every case, but in particularly a high profile one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you have to make sure that you are completely buttoned up. And again, err on the side of safety. Do the right thing. And by the way, while we're at it, may I criticize Kash Patel for a moment?
I was going to ask you about that. So there
why are we criticizing Kash Patel? Because he came out there and made that statement before. He said, we got somebody in custody. And all of a sudden, he didn't have nobody in custody. Yeah, he
got a little ahead of himself.
Yeah.
But I know they were anxious.
Yeah.
Just a lot of confusion, I think, is the best way to say it, because
but you know what?
There was reporting about.
You got to remember, that's what his main contact in Utah reported to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he got word, Kash Patel wasn't there. They're stationed in D.C. Each state has a main field office.
Mm-hmm.
The main FBI field agent supervisor for Utah reported that they probably had somebody, which they initially did, even though they let him go. That's why they had to rescind it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's why they came out and said it, you know? Yeah.
Person of interest who had been identified, right? That's what we're talking about, this photo. There was talk about a subject being taken into custody.
Yeah, I see you got a lot of weirdos over here.
That's what FBI Director Kash Patel had mentioned. There is a distinction between person of interest and subject.
Oh, that's the guy.
I mean, the communication through X yesterday seemed to suggest they got the killer.
I saw it, and I think whoever I was with, I don't want to say, but whoever I was with, I just went,
"You're wrong for that."
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and then however many minutes later, whoops, you cannot.
What was that?
Well, it was an F up. It was an amateur.
It is right there.
There is an obligation in a case like this to keep the media, the public informed, right? People recognize that, whether it's the governor or the state police.
Yeah, but we recognize the inexperience of that, right? The inexperience of it. So the whole point is you got to have a little bit more experience. You got to be a little bit more discerning. What's up, Ty Pro? Y'all only up here for a minute.
Oh, hey, HQ, we ain't trying to bust the groove now. Go ahead with your bad self.
What's up, Ty?
Dang, that's how you feel,
right? She flexing.
That's it. No, it's just this different platform. That's all. Give me your thoughts and then go back down.
Oh, well, shoot. Okay, go ahead, Ty.
Were you going to play what I sent you? Out of curiosity.
You said what?
Were you planning on playing what I sent you?
No.
Okay, you just kind of doing a recap on what's going on.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out if anybody has any more information, and to run the sidebar from Law and Crime to find out, did they find out any more information? Nobody seems to have any more information other than what we had earlier today. They haven't caught the dude. Why y'all ain't caught the dude? And it's 24
HQ.
Yeah.
Me and Project was talking about that in the chat. Likely with this being a planned professional hit, somebody was already waiting. He probably jumped in the back of somebody's SUV or trunk, and they drove him out of that state. And that guy now is on the opposite side of the country or out of the country. Very likely. If they haven't gotten him by now, he's somewhere on the opposite side of the country where nobody's doing a manhunt, or he's already out of the country. Yeah.
Yeah, they if he don't, especially if he don't live in Utah, if he's not from Utah, which he probably not, because anybody could have seen that that's where he was going to be at, and this is a needle in a haystack. It wasn't no cameras that caught him for real. Needle in a haystack. He could be anywhere. He could be in Canada. He could be in Mexico. He could be in Europe. He could be gone. Like,
yeah,
they missed a plane. I do know they missed a plane. A plane left within an hour of the shooting, and they missed catching that plane.
My prediction, I heard that too, but my prediction is he left in somebody else's car and they were driving.
Yeah,
that's my prediction. Because a plane is too,
right?
Because you have to document everybody on the plane.
Yeah, that's too easy.
Yeah, they can intercept the plane on the opposite end.
Exactly. If that's probably what they did. But more, you in Utah, it's nothing to just go a state over and catch a plane in that state.
Yeah, they could reach out to their FBI contacts over there and say, hold that plane when it lands.
Yeah, so he could be on the road.
So more than likely, he got driven out of there. He got driven out of Utah, and he wasn't on no plane. He wasn't on nothing that could record him. More pictures of him. We haven't seen any more.
Yeah, he right after it happened is likely he left and went through an area that may have been a little bit off field, off vision from cameras, and because he went through the woods. Remember, that's where they found the gun. And then at that point, he probably had a checkpoint with somebody waiting with a car, and he got in the back of a trunk or back of somebody's SUV, and they put something over him and they got him out of there. Because cars are constantly moving around.
So why do you think it's a professional hit? Why do you think? What's your
why it's a hit? Or go ahead, Ty.
Why do you think it's a hit?
Oh, I was gonna say it just looked firing a sniper at a target 50 yards away is not easy. That's not something you just do. To perform a dead shot, a kill shot 200 yards away, one time, one shot.
That's definitely
you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. He was perfectly timed. Not even to get away without anybody catching him. I mean, he had a very
this was
strategic
planned
plan.
Out. So thus it's a professional hit. Because they would have caught the guy by now.
If it was a college student or some just raging, angry, emotional person, they would have been too sloppy to get away this smooth. This was emotional based, would have been too sloppy. This was focus based. And I wanted to ask you, HQ, what do you think the ramifications? We know that the social media going crazy, everybody, anything divisive come up, everybody go crazy, attack each other. But with the president being on this campaign, with pushing ICE into different communities, I mean, not ICE, the National Guard into different communities. Right. He on his way to Chicago. Did you watch what he had to say about it? Because he was he blamed it on the left. You know what I'm saying? Political terrorism on the left.
That's normal. That's normal for him to blame the left.
So my question would be, with the militarization of, like, the country is being militarized against each other right now.
Right.
Now we got this. Now his direct enemies, basically, it kind of seems like he's taking that he's coupling that with the assassination attempt on his life, and he's making it seem like the left are basically terrorists in this country. What would you, if you not to get too conspiratorial?
No,
but what do you think some of the ramifications for this will come down, besides trying to just catch the assassin?
See, I heard the president. I only heard snippets of it. I didn't hear the total speech, but what I did hear chilled me, because then I heard someone say it's a concentrated campaign to demonize the left. Fine and dandy if you don't get along with the left, but you cannot demonize every person that is a left-leaning person because this happened to Charlie Kirk. The honest to God truth is there have been 30 plus attempt assassinations since early 2000 or 30 years back. And 19 of those have been Republican based. Someone who was Republican did it. 5 of them were Democratic based, and the rest were random people. So it's not a matter of the left going after the right, but you cannot tell people that because they have their own thought process. I looked it up today. It's only 5 of Democrats who did the shooting, and it's 19 from the Republican side. So who is the one who has the campaign against the other side? I would say, I beg to differ, that it's the Republicans against the Democrats. And now we have a president who's actually vilifying the Democrats. I think we have a problem.
Hey, I'm curious as to who do you think was behind this?
I think it's professional.
No, I said who? Yeah, but someone put him up to it, though, is my point. Yeah, it's a professional hit, but who hired them is my point.
Listen to this. What happens if I make something happen for the greater good? For the greater good, I make something happen.
The day before, the same type of situation happened before, kind of an inside job to get permission. You know, I don't know what anniversary it was today, but
9/11.
This was I don't know what year it's been, but that was an inside job. I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that, to go and start a war against some people for basically common interest, and to also heighten security on America's land. People leave that out a lot. They don't. They leave out the fact that not only did we start a war to get resources, we turned America's safety levels. But I would remember as a kid, I was a child, that I'd be coming home, my mom turning on the news. Okay, the threat level is yellow, orange. Don't check the mail, it might be anthrax. So that gave a lot of
hold on, Typro. Hey, Praise Land. You want me to help you out the front door? You didn't have to come into my house. You know that, right? You didn't have to come into my house, right? Thank you.
I ain't looking at the chat, but I know Project Leroy doing pretty good with kicking people out too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Pharaoh is spamming the chat. Y'all might have to
See, all right. So let me finish what I was saying. So basically, I say all of that to say, you know, this country, that's not the only time this country, you know, sometimes it's collateral damage. We're going to do something to advance some stuff. You know, a lot of these terms and agreements on our cell phones, a lot of these surveillance type of situations and cameras everywhere, that came from 9/11.
Right.
TSA, all of that. So I looked at, when I heard Trump's speech and how he was so quick to vilify Democrats, because I think that was so unhealthy
for the country.
You everybody's president. You're not just the people who support you president.
Right.
So when you say, and that's just the type of way that he is when it comes to people who don't agree with him. So when you quick to point out, this was those guys, they want to delete us, you know what you could do to your fan base. Your fan base go and do dumb shit like raid Capitol. So when you put that out there, that you blatantly say you think that the left are and he named his assassination, Charlie Kirk, the World Health leader dude in New York, he named all of these people as one, like there's some type of, you know, terrorism against Republicans. Right. And I really was like, when I seen that, it was like ding, ding, ding. Yeah, he called it in. That's why we're not gonna ever catch this dude. He called it in. Allegedly, conspiracy. These are just my thoughts. I am high on shrooms.
I believe that he somewhere. This wasn't no outside. This wasn't just a random person who did this. I don't believe
No, it's definitely
It
not.
definitely
That
wasn't
guy,
no
that young
random.
guy was paid millions to do that. HQ
because he got out of there too smooth.
They had it set up, and he was promised millions, and he probably had a healthy advance too.
He probably got some type of
He probably got a villa set up in another country. All of this is already set
his
up.
His family is good because there's not a chance. It's a chance he could have made it. He could have not made it out there.
Yeah.
And it's funny that they never arrest these type of guys in these situations.
Nope.
They're either deleted on scene or you never catch them.
Yeah, so, that's how it happens, man. Remember, Jack Ruby shot Lee Harvey Oswald,
right?
Before they could get him in for questioning, man.
Right. They got him for that. Let me read the super chat. V Sheesh, $2. It was fake. Charlie just posted saying he said, V shit, you crazy. V Shish.
After that video, he said that. Really?
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, it almost scared me.
His brother said it
was chilling. It was almost scary what he was saying. They want to pin it on a liberal. Look, I'm not going to no extreme, either one or the other. I'm not going to one extreme. But I do know this wasn't just no random person off the street who did this. He had help. Whatever happened,
it was a setup. It was a setup. Charlie's name had been added to a list. Andrew Tate came out and said he's on that list.
And 911, right? 9/11 on 9/11. Maybe he couldn't get Charlie on 9/11, and he could only get him on 9/10 to remind us of the 9/11 debacle in 2001, to remind us of that. Maybe this was the reason why he wasn't going to have some outing on the 11th, so they did it on the 10th. This was planned. Whatever this was planned.
I don't think that nobody on the left or the right, there's just a regular person had a reason to do this to him, because people that are
go ahead, Ty. Go ahead.
I'm gonna make it quick. If it was just like somebody who disagreed with what he said, you would have seen what we would have seen play out is somebody in that crowd up a gun on him and self-sacrifice themselves to get that shot off on him. This was professional, and it was agenda-based. This is to trigger something. They picked him because getting him out the way is going to make the agenda, whatever that agenda is, a lot easier for. It's clearly somebody on the right's agenda. It's going to make a lot of people accept it. Like, okay, this was a reason why we should be able to do this, and the people are going to go for it now. That's it, bro.
Listen to this. This person knew that they was going to get away. They didn't plan to stay there and then break.
No, it was an escape plan set up.
Escape plan already set up to get that person wherever they were going to get that person to get him out.
It was a running,
never be caught.
Yeah, it was a running car.
Right.
It was probably multiple running cars waiting.
Where did he know to run? If it was a student,
he knew where to go. He had the map. He had already been planning the route he was going to take and where to meet that car.
And how did that? He asked the question when the show came on. How did he get up in that building? What was the building?
Well, I'm gonna say this: as somebody who's attended college, is building getting in like when the campus is open, even for summer school, it's not unusual for buildings to just be open. I've been in buildings and just leaned on doors and stuff, and doors are just open. So campuses are open for the most part. Yeah. Unless it's like a holiday, then it might be like completely locked down.
I'm right. TK, I don't believe he worked alone I don't believe he worked by himself neither.
Oh, no. This was a multi-person game plan. Money's been transferred. And that boy, if they don't, he's likely out of the country is my prediction at this point.
Wouldn't that just be so chilling, so creepy? If they never find anybody, they never find who it was. We don't have a whiff of who it was. I'm sure that they're good. They're good.
I say this, as for why it happened, the RFK said it best. Progress is a nice word, but change is its motivator. And change has its enemies.
Right.
What they had going with Turning Point. Turning Point had some level of influence in Trump's first election, when Charlie Kirk was really getting that off the ground. But this last election, it was almost like having two ground games. They ran a lot of interference for the right in Trump, and was a huge reason Trump got reelected. Yes. So the way he was attacking college campuses and young people, if they would have really kept their foot to the floor like they was doing, because they ain't let up. They already got Trump reelected, and they still out there in the field.
Right.
If they would have kept this up and kept going, and they don't do anything, because there's no Democratic equivalent to Turning Point. Right. So you give that another 5 to 10 years, you've been looked up, and the Democrats may not have been won in 3 or 4 elections. Then the party's irrelevant.
But see, here's the thing: you have Trump. Trump is an imperfect agent. He's an
but that's true. But it comes down to
you got that JD Vance right there.
Right. I get that. But here's the thing, HQ. It's about the agenda and who's Turning Point supporting.
Right.
It could be a new candidate after Trump, and it's not Vance. If he's a solid guy and ain't nothing crazy about him, and then Turning Point's pushing him, again, he's got a dual ground game. So he's got an extra person on the court. So you're playing 7 against 5 people, and you'll look up, and they don't do anything about that. 5 to 10 years from now, they'll be like, the Democrats ain't won in 4 times, 3 or 4 times. The party's irrelevant.
I know.
Yeah, the party's irrelevant at that point. After they lost 3 times in a row, they're relevant.
Right.
Yeah, they need to stop talking about putting somebody up there. Then they'll be talking about disbanding the party and splitting off into independent stuff.
That's why they need to do what they need to do right now. They need to come out with somebody that they can stand behind, that's a strong proponent of the things that they want, the Democrats want. If they don't come out with somebody soon enough, they're gonna be. Now we got a martyr on our hands.
The problem, that's
a fact. He is a martyr. He's a martyr now.
Yeah, the problem is with doing that, he would have to be, because to really get the core American support, a lot of the things and agendas the Democrats are pushing are contradictory to that. So that's why it would be difficult. When you're talking about pro-choice, you're talking about transgender rights, all of those things.
Like you know how I know one.
It's a slippery slope.
Now that you mention that,
yeah,
I was reading a little bit. I didn't see no videos today. I was just reading a little bit, just a little bit about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed about everything about him, and I'm able to pull information and then calculate it in my head. Charlie Kirk talked about trans what the hell are they called?
Transphobia?
No, the people.
Transformers.
Yes, transgenders. Transgender.
He talked about transgender. He talked about AB. He talked about what the hell else? I wrote it down too.
He talked about black crime.
He talked about black crime. He talked about the culture wars.
Yeah.
Without giving me any kind of solutions. But the one, and he talked about abortion and all of that. But the one thing, if he was such a nice man, if he was such a nice person, and he was all about America, why wasn't he talking about the poor people? Why wasn't he talking about homeless?
Because you already know why.
Why wasn't he talking about the homeless vets? Why wasn't he talking about Medicare for all? Why wasn't he talking about?
You have to remember, Charlie was from money. Yeah.
No. So, making sure
I'm gonna
homeless and
tell
not
you the
on the
reason.
street.
I'm gonna tell you the reason, baby.
Make,
Hold
because
on.
hold on.
Go ahead.
This is a human thing. I thought he was a minister.
I don't disagree with it, HQ. What I'm simply saying is many, I ain't saying everybody from money, but many people that are from that sort of background, that's simply not their jam or their interest. You know, is it right? No.
So his interest was
to
talk about transgender.
Exactly.
So his interest was to divide and separate us instead of bringing us together.
HQ, this is what I was saying
Charlie
yesterday.
Kirk is no Malcolm X now. Go
I'm
ahead.
saying, I'm saying, you know that I will take information, I will let you feed it to me, and it will come out the way that I understand it. If he was the good person that everybody said he was for America, blah, 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 blah. Why wasn't he talking about the things that help the collective?
HQ, why you think I was talking the way? Why you think I was talking the way I was talking yesterday to Almost and Glorious? Because they under this delusion like he's a Christian family man and he's a good guy. His message was taken out of context, and I love licking his boots. His boots taste like chocolate.
Wait a minute, hold on. Who is the Mick Bluffin 26? I want to help you out. I want you to find somewhere to go. You want me to find you somewhere to go?
Get him out of here.
Mick Bluffin? Because I don't tolerate disrespect in any way, shape, or form. Because I don't disrespect other people. So I don't expect you to disrespect me.
HQ, when you stream vertical like this, like you're doing, you are in a different algorithm. So random people that it's like being on the YouTube, TikTok. So when you watch vertical videos, you're going. That's the biggest way on YouTube to be exposed to new creators, which is good. That's good that you're doing that because you're getting new eyes on your channel. Because people are just scrolling. If they watch a Charlie Kirk video and they see your thumbnail and title, you're gonna be like the second or the third video that they
wait a minute, hold on. Let me explain this. I am not disrespecting Charlie. You did not hear me say anything negative about Charlie Kirk. Please understand that. Don't put that on me. I asked the question. I have never heard of I've heard of Charlie Kirk, but I have never heard any of his content. I went to some of the pages today and people were talking. I really wasn't listening. I was just listening, in the back of my mind. And then people were saying he was talking about this, he was talking about that, transgender, he was talking about this. And me, with the way I think, I said, wait a minute, isn't he a minister? Well, why wouldn't Jesus say or tell him, like Jesus was a person that cared about the homeless, cared about the welfare of people, cared about this, that, and the other. So why wasn't Charlie Kirk talking about that? Why was he talking about stuff that would divide us?
When I brought that up to Glorious Love, she said he was a good Christian man. I said, so are the Ku Klux Klan, and so was the slave owners. Her response was, we all fall short. It's delusion. When that side, that is not the interest is ultimately Charlie Kirk's agenda was to create as white of a nation as possible. That is really what these new neo-Nazi Republican conservative people are on.
Yeah, but they may just be needing a different message. I'm just saying, to me, if you told me that the person is a minister, I grew up with ministers. Ministers protect the homeless.
You grew up with black ministers.
We protect those people.
Black ministers and black church is different than white church. Because guess what? The black church has got LGBTQ stuff going on, but that's about it.
So
white church got PDF, but that's that's their culture, and that's kind of what I was trying to explain yesterday. Because look, yesterday when that happened to him, a mass shooting was also going on because that's their culture.
I
But that,
tried
but
to
but
find the. I tried to
you can.
find the
It
tweet.
ain't. It ain't. It happens every day. I'm at a Walmart and I'm walking into Walmart. I'm in some real white town in Ohio. I'm like, damn, I gotta be at this white ass Walmart. Somebody
Mhm,
might come in here and shoot this place up because that's what they do, and they
mhm.
don't want to talk about that. And you know what's really ironic? Charlie Kirk was getting asked about violence,
Wait a
and
minute.
he,
Hold on.
oh my God.
You should turn on a super chat. I didn't know a super chat was off.
Your super chats are on. Stop paying attention to these trolls, HQ, because you got
Oh,
random people that don't know you from a can of paint coming in here.
well, it
So
would be
tell
nice if
them,
somebody could super chat and pass along.
tell them to super chat if they want to talk to you because I can
Mm.
super chat right now. It's on. It's
I
not
didn't, I
off.
thought maybe my super chat was off. There ain't
It
nobody super
ain't
chatting.
no, but
Oh,
you should learn how to stream both ways because this is like the public restroom stream right here. Everybody gonna walk in and out of here, but if you stream, you can stream vertical and horizontal at the exact same
oh,
time, and your normal people that mess with you can come to the horizontal stream where we feel comfortable because we have a rapport with each other in the chat and you can still collect new viewers with this
mhm.
stream. If I'm gonna find a YouTube video on how to do it, I
Okay.
email it to you.
All right,
But
y'all go down. Y'all go down. I got to finish this
okay, for
video,
sure.
and the video only 5 more minutes, and then we'll see something later. 5 more minutes. Go down, and I want to finish this video. Let me finish the video. Y'all, please hit the like button and please hit the like button and like the stream and subscribe to the stream. It'll be on 10 o'clock. I'm on at 10 o'clock. Sometime we'll go over the daily news, whatever news is here, whatever we got going on. Please and thank you. Hit the like button. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I'm very well mannered or mild mannered. I don't disrespect people. I was not disrespecting Charlie Kirk. I just was going by the tenets of a minister and the way that I was raised, and I thought that's the way it was. So I'm just saying it is what it is. I'm getting fatigued. Let me help you out, Jay-Z. Let me help you out. Let me help you right on out the door. Let me help you out. Let me help you out. 5 million things. Let me help you out. Okay, let's finish.
Superintendent, whatever, you do have an obligation to keep us updated. But you can't get out ahead of yourself like that. That is the nightmare scenario where you basically tell people we got the guy and then you didn't. Like, that is just, look, Kash Patel, it's a rookie move by Kash Patel. He's never worked in law enforcement. I think he was maybe a local prosecutor or defender or something.
But wasn't the message interesting? It was not like we have the killer or we have the suspect, we have the subject.
Yeah, but
right. Subject is a technical term to some extent. I mean, it usually means in DOJ, federally, when Kash Patel is federal, it means a person who we are potentially going.
I think it was professional. I think it was professional. I'm almost afraid to think that maybe it was somebody from Palestine or some weird way out of the ordinary. I don't know, but it don't look like no regular person, no regular Democrat or no regular Republican did this. It just don't seem like that it was only that somebody that simple. It just don't.
To indict. It's like target, subject, and then just witness. So it's that middle class. But you can't even put something like nobody in the general public is going to make that.
That could be true,
distinction. You just can't say anything until you know you have the guy.
You've covered these cases all the time. Do you feel confident that they are going to find the suspected shooter? Because $100,000.
You know what? I thought. You know what? This is what I meant to ask. I forgot. I thought that when people have famous people come and speak, that they supposed to have a surrounding border of security where people can't get in. I thought there was or maybe that 200 yards was too far out. I don't know.
I do think they're going to find him, and here's why. So yesterday when this happened, I said there's 3 things they need, at least one, and hopefully all 3 of them in order to get this guy. Gun stuff, gun, ammo, shell casings, anything like that. Right. So ballistics is number 1, vehicle is number 2. I don't think they have that yet, and an image is number 3. So they have ballistics and they have an image. they have to know who this guy is. I'm sure they know who he is. I'm sure they're at his home. I'm sure they're at his, if he's a college student, as we've seen some reporting, at his dorm. I'm sure they're talking to everybody who knows him. I think given those two things, they will almost certainly find him. But I was nervous because there's a scenario where they don't have, look, it's one shot probably. If he scoops up his spent shell casing, gets out of there, takes the firearm with him, let's say they don't have a surveillance, they don't know what vehicle, or maybe he doesn't use a vehicle, maybe he runs somewhere. Like,
you want me to help you out, Allie? Are you talking to me? Or you want me to help you out? Because there's 500 billion places you could be. Please get there.
There's a way this could drag out, and it still might, but I think because they have imagery and ballistics, they have to know his name. And
the movements, and now they put out that picture of the potential person of interest. Okay, that's the criminal side. Real quickly, I want to ask you about a civil side. Why? I'm curious about civil liability. According to NBC, Utah Valley University Police Chief Jeff Long indicated that there were only 6 police officers at this Charlie Kirk speaking event.
6 police officers, 6. That's it?
You had 3,000 people, remember? And indicated that, quote, there were some plainclothes officers that were in the crowd as well. You train for these things and you think you have things covered, and these things, unfortunately, they happen. You try to get your bases covered, and unfortunately, today we didn't. Because of that, we had this tragic incident. Now, apparently, Charlie Kirk did have his own security team, and there was coordination between Long and Kirk's team leader. But, I mean, I do have to ask, is the university potentially legally liable in a wrongful death, a negligence suit? Because, Ellie, let me just couple this with one more thing. There has been reporting that the security there may have been lax. You had an attendee named Tyler McGettigan who told NBC News he was surprised that he wasn't asked to go through security to get in, that while you needed a ticket for the event, he said he didn't need it to get to the actual area where Charlie Kirk was speaking. Quote, no one checked the barcode or the QR code. There was no checkpoint to get in. It was literally anyone could walk in if they wanted. There was other reporting that there were no metal detectors posted outside of the event. So let's start right there. If that is true, and that was what was going on, does the university suffer any kind of liability?
So it's interesting. At first, we were talking about the local police department.
Security was lax? Wow. I mean, you have 3,000 people and you only got 6 security, or from the police department or from the FBI, wherever they were from. You only had 6 of them, and then you had Charlie's guys. So you probably had like 12 guys, and that's it? Wow.
You're not going to be able to sue a police department for negligence, right? That there's civil immunity, all that. The university could, for sure, for negligence, for failure to take due care. One complicating factor, though, is the university will probably argue none of that mattered. There's no but for. If the guy was a shooter outside whatever the perimeter was, 200 yards away,
yes, he did.
Whether they check codes or for the actual crowd, doesn't end up leading to this actual killing. There might be an argument, though, that they were negligent in not setting up a broader perimeter. In however this kid gets up to the roof, we don't know that. So, yeah, I mean, look, it wouldn't at all shock me to see lawsuits. People can bring lawsuits.
Maybe this is a long-term thing, y'all. Maybe this is a long-term plot. Somebody just said Charlie would have definitely been the president or ran for the next president of the United States. Not next, but within 10 to 15 years, he would have ran for president. Oh, shit. Now y'all got me thinking.
Lawsuits.
Hit the like button, please.
Against the university for negligence, for wrongful death, even perhaps for some of the bystanders for infliction of emotional distress.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah.
There's one thing for us to see those videos, but to be in that crowd, to see it, and then flee for their lives, not knowing what was going to happen.
Right.
Do any of those people have a legitimate, valid legal claim for, let's say, intentional or negligent infliction of emotional?
Right. It would have to be negligent. Presumably, nobody intended for this to happen. But yeah, I think we could see that. We could see a class action. We could see a group bonding deal. A lot of times these cases just end up settling out. I mean, if you're a university, you're going to go to trial. You know what I mean, against these people who were in attendance. So there are some important civil cases that could come out of this as well. Obviously, the criminal is first and foremost in mind, and I don't know. Let's just pray they get this kid quick. I keep calling him kid. He looks young, but this guy.
Yeah, but
quickly.
Well, they said that this person was able to like ingratiate themselves into the college community pretty easily. Listen, Ellie Honig, thank you so much for coming on. I kind of want you to write another book just so you can be able to come back on here.
I will come back regardless of the book. I promise. It's a blast.
But it is great. I started reading it. It's a really, really good read. If you're interested in prosecutions, investigations, how it works behind the scenes, a little bit of mix of politics and law too. Ellie Honig, such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Great. And that is all we have for you right now.
That's wild. You never know what. I just thought of something. Somebody in the chat said it could have been they knew he was going to run for president at some particular time. He led a very wholesome life, wife, kids, XYZ, XYZ. I know he did say 1964 Civil Rights Act was an abomination. And this is another thing I thought about. Right? And I'm just going to say this one little thing. It's another thing I thought about. Let me see. And this is in regards to Charlie Kirk. He said something. Somebody just reminded me, okay? They just reminded me of it. And I just want to say this one thing because I wrote it down. Okay? Don't get mad at me. I wrote this down. Okay. Well, we have this political violence. Okay. Since it's been happening since like way, the most extreme, it has become so pervasive since 2017. Okay. I can wrote. We saw it explode since 2017. We had a political shift 2017, not just in leadership, but in the tone that we have had around this country. The guardrails that we had, that we held back, the extreme behavior has been held back with, those are gone. Those have been weakened. Now we got anger, division, hostility, pouring over into everyday life, okay? People who once thought about saying something but didn't, now they on TikTok and Facebook and all them other places saying what they want to say. The threats that we once had and we wouldn't have known nothing about, now we know. Okay, a big part of this came into being because of Donald Trump and his rise to power. Whether people loved him or despised him or hated that man, no one could deny the style of leadership was unlike anything that we have seen in this country. And I don't care what you say and how you say it. He spoke without filters. He attacks his opponents, and he thrives on that kind of conflict. You should have seen the press conference that he had yesterday. The left, he kept saying the left, the left, the left. Why is it that he's trying to make it seem as though the left did this and you don't know? We can help you out. Gary. We can help you out. Why is it that he's beating on the drum as though the left did this? For a lot of y'all, Trump talking the way he did was like a whole new breath of fresh air, okay? But the country as a whole, this has unleashed something that we do not want on this community, on this country. His words gave license. Yeah, I can help you out, sir. I can help you out. Okay? Those words gave license to a new kind of politics. Ones where hostility, name-calling, violence, and threats became a part of the everyday conversation. This was ushered in because of this tone of the politics, and the person that introduced the tone of these politics was Donald Trump. This tone was not harmless. When the most powerful office in the land treats his political rivals as opponents, like Trump did, like he said yesterday, that attitude trickles down and people start to get behind it. It tells groups and people and bad people that they don't need to compromise or debate or have a come to the idea with a table with ideas. They only want to destroy. You should have seen all of the people online. The left, the left, the left, the left. And once politics become destructive, violence becomes not only possible, but inevitable, which we are seeing. Trump didn't invent political violence, but he normalized it on a level of anger and confrontation that changed our political culture. No, we don't cheer violence. Nobody cheers violence. Rallies where he encouraged chants of lock her up, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up, or where he dismissed violent behavior as no big deal. Do you know that he never said one word about those people, that lady and her husband who got killed? Did anybody hear him say anything about that lady and her husband got killed by that man? Not one word. You all didn't hear the stats I gave. You didn't hear what I said. Over 30 plus acts of violence in 30 years. 19 of those were from a Republican fanatic. 5 were from a Democrat. Trump heralded or ushered in this violent rhetoric. Trump did. We didn't have this kind of violent rhetoric until that person came into play. I'm going to need you all to be smart. I'm going to need you all to start reading. I'm going to need you all to start doing research. Yeah, I know. Right? This is directly in line with hate speech. Hate speech isn't simply being rude or politically incorrect. Hate speech is when entire groups of people are painted as villains, like the left, criminals, threats to the nation. When immigrants are called invaders, poisoning the blood. People just don't get insulted. They get dehumanized. This is where we're at right now. And once a group is dehumanized, hurting them, shooting them, snipering them becomes easier to justify. Words are very powerful, people. A man hears day after day that immigrants are stealing jobs and shit like that, flooding the country with bad blood. Suddenly he feels justified in buying a gun. The difference between truth and lies in a healthy democracy. Truth serves as the foundation, even when people disagree. They are at least arguing from the same set of goddamn facts. But today, lies, this president lies at the drop of the hat. Lies are repeated so often and so loud, and just like millions of y'all believe everything. You believe everything that you hear. The danger isn't about people being misinformed. It's the fact that you all refuse to do research and figure out. The danger is the entire political identities are built on bullshit and false narratives. Okay? And there's unprincipled politicians. They know the truth. They know the danger of stoking fire. Trump understands he understands what he's doing. Do y'all understand what he's doing? Nobody said anything about the left, the left, the left, the left. Nobody, no police, no nothing have said anything about the left. And yet your president is out here screaming about the left. Okay. Unprincipled human beings. Okay. Unprincipled human beings. And this is where we are at. And then there's the killing of Charlie. That's an example of how far our political violence has come. I can agree or disagree with Charlie. It don't matter. He was a family man. He had followers and he had a voice on the national stage. To be killed because of politics, to have his life end as a part of some joy, storm of anger is a tragedy, and we should all be wary. It shows us that political violence is not just theory, it's fact. It claims real lives around here. Turning Point USA. I guess he had many debates. I saw him he had many debates, according to people. Apparently it was a patriotic movement. I don't know. I had never heard of it really. Fighting for conservative values, but not all of us are conservative. And just because we're not conservative doesn't make us demonic. To a lot of people, it was a patriotic organization, like I said, but to others, it was a dangerous organization spreading misinformation and intolerance. And then somebody asked me today, and I'm going to end with this. Somebody said to me, Charlie Kirk wasn't a racist. He didn't say anything racial or racist. I said, you know how it takes flour, soil, water, seeds, and all of those kind of things to make a plant grow? If you take away the water and you take away the dirt and you take away all the essential things that a plant needs to grow, it will wither and die. So Charlie didn't denigrate the weed or didn't denigrate the plant. The plant is black people. The soil is DEI. The water was black leaders. Charlie decided that he was going to dismantle the steps and dismantle the building blocks of the black community so he could make it seem not legitimate. But if you don't know you don't know or understand what he was doing, because I know most of you don't understand. I read about these things. I just never really thought about Charlie Kirk in any way, shape, or form. And this is what my research of him told me. He didn't say outwardly racist things. He just tried to tear down the fundamentals, the systems that brought those people together, the idols that made it possible to be comfortable in black society. He just tried to tear those things down. DEI, affirmative action, Martin Luther King, the Civil Rights Act of 1964. He just tried to denigrate those things to say they were unimportant. And when you try to take away the salt, the dirt, the water, you dismantle the plant. You dismantle the black person. And this is what he was trying to do. I don't care how you slice it. That's the way it was. And I also looked at the fact that he never talked about helping the poor, the homeless, the ones who didn't have Medicaid, the ones who didn't have housing. I never heard him really talk about those things. I never heard anybody say he was talking about those things. I always heard people say on the outskirts, because I was always on the outskirts of listening, He was talking about trans people, talking about DEI, or talking about any number of those things. My whole point is, some of you guys thought he was a good man. Some of the other people thought he wasn't a good man. I am going by what the Bible or the word would say. Were you a Christian man? If you were a Christian man, then talking about transformers, I can't keep forgetting the name. Transformers, I'm going to say transformers, gay people, any of those things. If you were talking about any of those kind of things, you were stoking the social wars. You weren't talking about helping the poor or the homeless or the indigent or the disabled. You weren't talking about those things. Then I have to put it in context. If you're a minister and you're not doing anything about those things, and you're not talking about those things, and you're stoking social fires, then I have to conclude that you're not a very good minister. And that's all I know from what I read today, from what I heard today. If you weren't talking about things that a minister should be talking about and helping the community in that way, the poor, the indigent, and everything else, then that tells me you weren't a very good person. You weren't a very good minister. Okay. And I tried to figure out why people don't like Charlie Kirk. What's wrong with Charlie Kirk? Never heard anything about him until I heard people talking today. Went over and read, listened a little bit, read an article here or two or there. And then I got a picture of Charlie Kirk. I got a picture of him. I am still saddened that a human being lost his life. I'm still saddened because of that. Because no human being needs to lose their life. But he didn't do his time helping the most people. He just didn't. And to many people, he was a bad human being or a less than perfect human being. But that's okay. His time on this planet has ended. His influence on this planet has ended. Whether that was a good influence or a bad influence. Okay. And I wish him well. Here's the thing. We got to choose unity over division. Courage over cowardice. And we got to choose the truth over the lies, okay? Political violence is not okay. It is a choice. It is a choice. Too many choices have been made to stoke the hate instead of healing the hate. Let me help you out. Let me help you out. I can help you out to chat. I can help you out, Peanut 12. I can help you out. You want me to help you out? Yeah, I help you out. Okay. We can turn this around. We can reject the fascism. We can demand safety from gun violence, gun laws. We can insist on principled leadership. I don't care what you say and how you slice it. Trump should not be on TV talking about the left lunatics because he has no idea who did what. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Okay. That's embarrassing. So, what is it? Project Leroy, Tide Pro, and Triple. If you're still in the building, please come up. Okay. Please hit the link and come up to the chat, back chat, please and thank you. Okay. I need you to hit the link. I'm not putting you on camera. Okay. Because I got to figure out how to turn on the Cash Apps. I got to figure out how to do all of that because I don't know. And most of the time, I am impartial. I go straight down the line, straight down the middle. Okay. But I don't appreciate the president only being the president for half of the country. I don't appreciate it. I feel like I feel like I don't have a president. In a time when we should be mourning another human being, I don't feel like I have a president. Okay? I just don't feel like I have a president. And I wish I want to have a president. Patrick, if you don't understand, please grow up. Please grow up, Theo. Please. I cannot have people in here calling me a commie. I cannot have people in here calling me a fat. I cannot. You need people, please grow up. Please. I cannot with y'all. We got to have some kind of discourse. We got to have some reasonableness. We cannot have people. I cannot with you. Okay? I told you, I can't. I don't know how to turn on the super chat stuff. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, hold on. HQ. Mm-hmm. Your channel HQ reacts. Super chats are on. Your other channel is not monetized, so they can't super chat. If you are on the Wives and Wounds channel and you would like to send HQ a super chat, you need to come over to the HQ Reacts channel and you can super chat. Anybody that is in the Wives and Wounds channel chat, that page is not monetized. Please come over to the HQ Reacts channel to send super chats. HQ, if you want to drop your link to HQ Reacts in that Wife and Wounds channel, they'll be able to come over here and super chat you.
Okay, how do I get to that channel?
If you made me or Project Leroy a mod, we'd be able to go over there and do that. You definitely should make Project Leroy.
Project Leroy is a mod.
We not mods on the Wife and Wounds channel.
Oh, okay.
So we can't time nobody else over there. They over there running amok. And like I said,
I didn't know.
When you vertical, you inviting everybody up in here. So you know,
I just went vertical. I mean, because it was more convenient to do the vertical. I had no idea. I ain't had no idea.
It's the floodgates. You're gonna get everybody all in the darkest. It's like being it's like you just pulled up to a dark alley and was like, hey y'all, I got chocolate chip cookies and $100 bills, and everybody in that alley just ran over. So there's some good people that I've seen come over though. And shout out to all the new people keeping it respectful. Please double tap the screen to like the video, no matter what channel you are on. If you are on the channel that's not monetized, come over to HQ Reacts. You will be able to send a super chat, but it must be respectful or HQ won't read it.
Okay. And then I made Project Leroy. He is a managing moderator. He's a moderator because I gave him.
He's a great mod on a lot of big channels.
Okay. I gave him a wrench, so he's a managing moderator type.
For sure.
And see, it's weird trying to find yours because I can't find yours. It won't.
You trying to make me a mod over on the Wife and Wounds?
Yeah.
Okay, what you need me to do? You need me to go over there and put my name in the chat?
Yeah, you got to do that.
All right, okay. I got you right now.
Okay. So I thank you all for coming through. I am a down the middle person. I don't want to start any kind of rumors. I don't want to start any kind of goofy anything. I just like to have conversations at 10 o'clock at night. Any wilding out, anything that goes on 10 o'clock at night. That's the type of person I don't want to be political. I don't want to be none of that. I want to be true crime. Now, if we can talk about true crime and leave the politics out of it, we would be amazing. But nobody wants to talk about politics. We always talk about politics. I don't want to talk about politics. I want to talk about people in this space, and crime in this space, and cases in this space. So I'm not gonna do no political nothing over here. From here on out, this is the last time you done heard me do political stuff over here. I'm doing crime over here.
This was crime, though. It just kind of intercepted because of who it was. But this was a big crime case. This was probably the most high-profile deletion of the year for sure, right? So, you did good, HQ. This was a good, you got a lot of eyes coming over here and all that. I got so much smoke for Glorious and Almost.
Where's Project Leroy and Triple? Project Leroy.
I'm not sure if Triple was in the chat yet, and I don't think Project Leroy going to come up.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just need him to come. Oh, okay. I sent you, and no, I have your email. So I'm going to send you, I'm going to close this stream out because I got to close this stream out. And then I'm going to send you an email like in 5 minutes with the,
okay.
I'm over here cleaning up the chat. Wait a minute. I can't see the other chat? I mean, what am I looking at? I'm just, just nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send wait a minute. If you come up here, Project Leroy, just come up here real quick. You ain't gotta do nothing. And then I'm gonna end the chat. And then hopefully I can keep you both in. Well, you already a mod, so you don't have to come up. That's fine. That's fine. Ty Pro, I'm gonna send you a link in your email in about 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay, I got you.
It'll be your the one that you sent me the picture in. I'm gonna send you a link back in that, and then you can come up when everybody's gone. Because then I can do all the other stuff. Okay.
I do that for sure.
Okay. So you don't have to wait up here. Just wait for the email and your thing. Okay.
I got you. I'm out. Peace.
So I appreciate everybody coming. I didn't know I don't have you can't do super chats over on the Wife and Wounds channel. But if you go over to HQ Reacts youtube.com/@HQ HQ. If you go over to HQ Reacts without the doggone, okay, hold on. Okay, here it is. youtube.com/@HQ Reacts. Okay. So I think that's the right one. I'm not sure, but you go over there. Please like and subscribe for more content. I appreciate all of you guys coming up. I appreciate it. I didn't know. I just you all showed up, and I appreciate you coming to my house. I need you to hit the like button. No, I need you to hit the like button out and in, please, and thank you. How much to crack ante? Whoa. You wild. You wild. I appreciate you. Blazing, Typro, Krabby Patty, Yarn Nard, Project Leroy. All of those goofy names that I can't pronounce because I'm too old to do that. But every night I have these lives at 10 o'clock. Come over and act up, do whatever in the chat. We just have to have a good time. But next time we talk, we doing true crime. We ain't doing none of the political thing. We doing the true crime thing. We want to talk about crime, women in wounds, people getting broke off for no reason. We want to do those kind of things. And then we want to hear about what would you do differently? How would you catch this person? How would you do it? What would be X, Y, and Z? This is what I want to talk about. With the world being as shitty as it is, I don't want to concentrate on the shitty stuff. I want to concentrate on the more fun aspect of, okay, well, how do we solve this murder? Could you solve this murder? Are you a policeman? All of those things. Hi, Allie. Erica. Thank you. I appreciate it. I gotta go. If you know me, you know I gotta eat. I gotta eat something. So I appreciate all of you guys showing up. I appreciate it. I will see you next time. What's today? Thursday? Probably Saturday night. Saturday night. Next show. Saturday. I gotta try to find out about those kids that got shot yesterday. Everything was overshadowed by Charlie. I want to find out about the kids, what happened to the kids. So that's probably going to be the next show. What happened to those kids? I appreciate it. with the Palestinian nun talking about how Christians and non-Jews are treated? You have some questions, eh? HQ, please watch the interview with the Palestinian nun. Oh, okay, I'm gonna check it out. Need to get fast. I'm gonna check it out. And all those people I blocked, I'm gonna unblock you because I don't care one way or the other. You can say whatever you want to say to me. I'm a very confident person. You just bye. I don't even know how to say bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.